Hello and welcome. I'm here to show you the new ZEXAL Ultimate Unite deck that just got released today with the Casey Celebration and Structure deck. So here it is. That's the list I've been running. It's very free to play. It only requires one structure deck from the new structure decks, and the codes could be cut to one in case you only have one of the older structure deck to for a free to play list. So you could do this and play like this. Like this is very possible. You can do stuff like this if you don't want to spend money, basically. So let's showcase the deck list. I've been running one Twin Saber. I know there are lists that run more than this. It's the only ZW that I would consider running more copies of, because if your opponent life points are 2000 or higher, he special summons itself, and then you just equip it to Utopia, and that monster gains a negate. So, for example, if you have a level 4 setup, so like you can make a Utopia, and then you just special this from hand, and your Utopia will have a negate. And drawing this also raises like the ceiling of your end board because it makes it so your Utopia has 2 negates instead of 1. But I think that all the ZW monsters were just hard breaks, like you don't want to open them. This is one you're somewhat fine with opening, in case you are going first and your hand is good enough. If it's not, then don't go for it. It's going second, this card does nothing. Then I'm playing free codes. So the reason why I am playing free codes is because going second, like Code Child, is not even that bad. Like if you have Code Child, Arm Sage, like another Onomat monster, maybe someone like a sister, this is really good. Because, or even double coat, like it's fine. Double coat and like an extender like a child, or again like the Armed Sage, because you can skill the Onomat so that you always have access to it and you always have one in the graveyard, which makes it so you are able to do like Malevolence in OTK plays very easily. So I've been liking Code. It's also an okay monster to normal summon. It's a 1800 beat stick. Like if your hand does nothing, you just normal summon that and set free, for example. And if it survives, then you can just use a skill. Or you could skill earlier, to be fair. You could just skill earlier for the Onomat, so that you get ZEXAL on the following turn, and in case your opponent hits you for like more damage, you are able to go for example, like the Utopia Ray, and then just cheese that way, or something similar. As for Armed Sage, I'm fine with one copy of this. So Armed Sage technically makes your turn 1 better. So if you could run more copies of him, it's probably not terrible. It's also okay going second. But the only thing Armed Sage does is you make it into Utopia, and then you add a ZW monster. So you would add the Pegasus Twin Saber, most likely. So essentially, you are making a negate turn 1 if you open a level 4 and Armed Sage. Or if you open, to be fair, like Child Armed Sage, that does it as well, because like you can turn the Child into a level 4 with a skill, and then you go Armed Sage, and then you make an Utopia, and you have a negate. That's the main idea of the deck. Then we're playing Free Child and Free Sister. These two are the main combo enablers and extenders. Child is the best extender of the deck. It just special summons itself if you control a Gagaga. The level manipulation obviously comes up if you're comboing going first. Going second, you just special summon this and skill it away, because if you use the level manipulation effect, you cannot attack. And Sister is a rank 6 or 8 by herself. She's technically ranked U to 10 number monster, by yourself, but you are mostly going into either Force Focus or Zombie Stein. You're not really going into anything else of this. You can technically go for Utopia if you want to, but why? And you can go into the Leo arms if you want to, but again, why? Then we are playing one Tornado Bringer. Tornado Bringer is your main target off of Leo Utopia Ray, because it makes it so it's untargetable and undestroyable, and if it would be destroyable, you destroy this. Oh, it's actually not undestroyable, sorry. It's undestroyable Bell, and that's it. Because it destroys instead. However, there is a problem with this. This thing doesn't have protection itself. So one MST, and your Leo Utopia Ray becomes from an untargetable negate to 2500 vanilla. So yeah, you can tell this deck is not amazing. Then for attacks, 3 MST, 2 Book of Moons, and 1 Treacherous, and as the sister targets, we are playing 1 Bolt and 1 Revenge. Revenge is part of the combo, obviously, it's good extender. I would even consider running multiples of this. And Bolt is just Bolt, like, you use it and as a pop and that's it. We are running obviously the one of Utopia, ultimately Utopia Ray, 2 Utopias. This is mainly because the skill puts Utopia Ray in your extra deck. So you don't need to run Ray in this deck, given that boop. This just adds it. So for example, you can go for a turn 1 Utopia with the Armed Sage or something similar. Or like if you draw like Pegasus Twin Saber level 4 and like extend, you can just like make the Utopia and just have the negate. And the other Utopia is used to go into Ray. Also, the effect of the skill that makes it, you can go into Leo Utopia Ray just by having the Utopia Ray. It doesn't really come up, I've never done it in my games. But I can tell that sometimes you could go for it, because like for example, you use a skill turn 1 and you can technically like go into Utopia Ray on the following turn if your Utopia survives. Like you can do something like that. You could like Utopia Twin Saber and then like on the next turn Ray into Leo Utopia Ray. You could do that. I don't know why you would, but because I think you probably win if your Utopia equipped with Twin Saber is still on the field. You are probably in a winning position if your opponent didn't clear it, because it means that they didn't have any answer to that. But whatever. Then we're playing the D1 of Zombie Stein, 1 Force Focus, and 2 Malevolences. You are making Force Focus more often than not, because Zombie Stein is pretty expensive for a deck that doesn't actually have a lot of like draw power and search. It doesn't really have that, not in this build at least. And the Dodo list has draw power, but it doesn't exactly plus, like not on the hand at least, which still means that Zombie Stein is pretty expensive. You're only discarding like bricks off of this. If you are drawing a hand of like books and MSTs, like you're not making Zombie Stein, you're most likely making Force Focus because you cannot afford the discard. And the Malevolences are just there as OTK tools. So let's get into the games. I have cooked up quite a lot of replays. So the first game I've played, and this is mainly just to show off the combo. So we face a Cyber Dragon player. And this is my hand. This is the best case scenario. If you draw Sister Child MST book, you probably win the game. You probably deserve to win. And here I'm just showing off the combo. The way you do it is you go Sister, search Revenge, and then go Girl. Sister can target girl, and then you go child, copy the level. It's important to do sister effect first and then special summon child, because otherwise you will be stuck with a level 3 child. Here I also fuck up because I equipped the wrong ZW monster, but it's okay because our opponent will just scoop since our board is too threatening. My second game to show is a DDD game. In this game I do not open combo, and I'm showing off how the deck plays out if you have nothing in your hand. If your hand is pretty bad, like this was my hand, so you can tell this is not amazing. So what I do is adjust at you. To be fair, I could have normal the code, but I didn't. For reasons, I guess. So we just MST the contract, and our opponent will go for the pendulum. And this is basically all it does. I flip book here just in case my opponent is dumb and like didn't slime first, but then he obviously goes for Oracle King Dark. And then I go Ultimate Unite. We high five the sky, go into ZEXAL Morph. And top deck MST because we are a sack. And we just win. Because we are able to go for Ultimate Unite. And this is just Utopia Ray. We can even speed up the process. Our third replay shows, however, how the board is easily breakable. So here our opponent will make the full turn 1, and we are gonna break the board with 1 card. So he's just doing the combo, and now he's doing it this way, which works. And here we just sister, he doesn't negate it, and he dies. Because we just bolt that. And that's it. Also, had he not done that, had he negated my sister, I would have probably lost. So yeah, that was a thing. I mean, I drew revenge, so I could have made zombies die technically, so I was fine. This is a stinker of a game, so that's a bad hand. I also booked the wrong monster here. I should have booked this. And I'm going into like actual Leo arms. You can tell my hand is bad if I'm going into actual Leo arms with all like the ZW monsters in hand. And then I top like Armed Sage and MST, so like those don't really help. But don't worry, we actually win this game. Because eventually we see sister as our opponent is doing absolutely fucking nothing. And our MSTs are gonna put in some work. Eventually. And here the game ends. Because he goes for Kite off of the monster. He even knew Kite was there. I'm pretty sure. Actually no, he shuffled his deck. And then he scoops. Then we go ahead and face a Witchcrafter player. Do not ask. I have no idea myself. And here he could have played around the Book of Moon, but he chooses not to do it. He instead goes really greedy and sends another spell. He could have just sent the trap to the graveyard and then leave 1 spell, but he didn't, so we just punish him. And yeah, that's it. And for the last game, sorry, I'm gonna show you. There is a mirror. Uh, Whenever you would see two Yumas on the screen, you wouldn't be happy, but right now seeing two Yumas on the screen is like, oh damn, it's a rogue mirror. That's not something you would have said like not too long ago when this like Onomat was actually tier 0. So our opponent goes first, and he opens up Child and Sage. So he makes a Utopia and, adds Twin Saber and goes for the negate. But we thought the MST because we're attack, and then we just win. Because this is just game. So yeah, hopefully I've showcased enough of this deck. I'm somewhat happy this is part of the game right now because it's bad, and if I face it, I'm probably gonna win. So yeah, thanks for following, I guess.